Hello and welcome to another update. I'm doing an update from a different part of my apartment today. I just really couldn't be bothered to set up the makeup table light and blah blah blah. So doing it for the living room instead. I may or may not have the dogs trying to pounce on me, so we'll see. It's been about a month since my last update, and I've just realized I didn't even look up the last weight to tell you. Okay, so the last weight was 71.9. My goal originally was 65 with a buffer for when I come off it to 63 kilos. As in, I wanted a 2 kilogram-ish buffer. I told you. I've kind of reevaluated that recently, because as I'm getting down, I'm realizing that I've still got quite a bit to go, like in terms of, not quite a bit, but a bit to go in terms of visceral fat and the body fat percentage, and I'm close-ish with the BMI, but not there yet. So I'm thinking now that I want my, I don't really know. I'm thinking that I want my goal weight to be 63 and then to have a buffer of a few kilos. But even when I was doing keto very religiously and I got down to a very low weight, I still was at about 62, 63, and that was really, really difficult to get to. So I'm not sure that I will actually get there. We'll see. I hope the camera's not too wonky because I'm holding it rather than the normal setup. Yeah, so since my last update, I'm going to have to calculate that, how much it was, and I'll pop it on screen. But going down fairly steadily still. I have put on about a week. Oh, what, a week? It's the end of the week. Now I'm tired. End of the day. I have put on about a kilo in the past week, and I put that down to hormonal changes, but also we unfortunately lost one of our cats last week, so I think it's a bit of grief eating as well. But before that, about a week and a half before that, I was eating a lot more than I normally would, just because we had birthdays and it was Father's Day here in Australia, things like that. And I thought for sure that I would put on, and I actually lost. So I had started to wonder if I could perhaps start increasing my calories, and perhaps I was going too low because I normally aim for 1,500 a day. And some days I am a bit lower than that by a few hundred calories. I very rarely go crazily over. I would say I would go over as in, up to 2,000 to 2,300 calories a day, maybe once a month. So not significant, but I did have, before this last week, about a week and a half where I did have a few days that I went significantly over and I seemed to lose weight. So I'm not sure how the body works, or if everybody works the same way in terms of, is it an average over the week of calories? Can I judge it that way? Can I look at the past month or so and see what I had on average per day? Or does that mean that maybe my body feels like it needs to have like days where it's, a cheat day or a blowout day, and that kind of helps to reset a little bit? I'm not sure. So I'm just going to keep an eye on it over the next few weeks. I'm really looking forward to getting below 60, God, I wish, below 70 kilograms. No, I think I would be non-existent if I got below 60. I'm looking forward to being below 70 kilograms, being in the 60s. So we'll see how that goes. And like, as in, see how it goes over the next month or so in terms of daily average of calories, I guess, and how many times I go over and whether or not I'm losing at the same time. So, but I suppose one update since the last time I did an update is that I have started to notice a bit of hair loss. So I have been taking biotin. I was already pretty consistent with my collagen, which I think I discussed in the last video, like in terms of trying to get about 15 grams a day. I've now started taking biotin as well. I also bought a hair serum, but then took it to my parents to use and can't find it, so I think I left it there. But I've noticed it a couple of times where I've lost or had a lot of hair come out, and it's been after a shower, and then I sometimes put my hair in curlers before I go to the office, or the first time that I noticed that we were going to a wedding, and I kind of combed it out, and it was the first time that I combed it out since washing it and putting it in curlers, and I don't know if that makes a difference in terms of, well, no, I don't think it makes a difference because I've not noticed it like that before to that extent. It did kind of drop off a little bit, and I thought, oh, maybe I'm overreacting, but then I had that again this morning when I took it out of curlers. Not that you can tell. It does not hold. And I don't really use hairspray because I used to do a lot of, not do a lot of pinup, I used to dress in a pinup style, and so I used to do my hair in wet sets all the time and use a lot of hairspray, and I noticed that brushing that out all the time definitely damaged my ends. My hair's damaged now anyway because I went through a period at like the end of 2023 where my partner and I had to cancel our wedding, and I just went, okay, well, I'm not going to try to be my natural color for the wedding, so I'm going to go really dark brunette. And then I didn't like that because there's a lot of upkeep, because as it comes through it's very light. It looked great in comparison, and then I had to bleach all the way back, and so that process took about a year. So it's still very damaged at the ends. Anyway, I'm blabbering now about stuff that really has nothing to do with Mounjaro, except in terms of hair loss. So yeah, can't even remember how I got onto that. But anyway, I'm hoping that the hair loss subsides a little bit. It really has been only the two times that I noticed it quite significantly, and it kind of freaked me out a little bit the first time. So hopefully with the biotin and just staying consistent with the collagen, that stays in my scalp, hopefully. Yeah, so in terms of feeling, how I'm feeling with the weight loss and Mounjaro, a lot better than I was last time. I feel like last time I felt really frustrated and I couldn't wait to be over. Couldn't wait for it to be over. And I still do kind of feel that way in terms of like the cost of the Mounjaro. I would really like to be able to get to maintenance so that I can start coming back down the doses and the cost isn't so significant. But in terms of the day-to-day calorie counting, I feel a lot better about that. Maybe because I had that, you know, a few weeks where I just did allow myself to live, and I enjoyed the birthdays and Father's Day, etc. Maybe it's because of that. It kind of, I feel like it's somewhat more manageable now. And I'm not stressing so much about going over anymore. So on the days that I do go over, which has been, I'd say this last week it has been more consistent than normal. I've probably gone up to about 1,800, 1,900 calories a day. I think it's becoming a lot more manageable emotionally. I've got one dog that wants to pop up. Okay, come here. No, let me not. Yeah, so, oh no, here she comes. There you go. Different one. Yeah, so, stealing the show. It's becoming a lot more manageable now. So I feel a lot less frustrated and a lot less like I'm going to throw in the towel, and a lot more kind of, okay, well, I'm just accepting that this is where I'm at and it will just take a little while. So it will take a little while, but at the same time, that means that my skin gets a chance to, you know, catch up to my weight loss in terms of like stretch and saggy skin and stuff like that. I have noticed a little bit of it under my arms, like towards the back of my arms, and if I lift up my arms it's like underneath, and I think that that is a lot to do with stretch marks. So I've started taking like a stretch mark, using a stretch mark cream. And I also, the week before last, had HIFU body shots done under my arms. It'll take a few weeks to see the difference, and I've had HIFU done on my face before and was told that it's like once every 12 months kind of thing. But with the body shots, apparently it's different, and it can be between 2 and 3 sessions. So I did that with ClassPass, and it wasn't insanely expensive, but I'd rather not have to do it 3 times if I can. So she said to assess after 3 weeks, which would be, I think, next Thursday. So I'm not sure if you can see the waggly tail. So next Thursday I'll kind of assess how it's looking, and then I think she said to do it every 4 weeks, so I'll book in for the following week. I'm hoping that that will help with the skin tightness. I know that it's not going to do a lot for, well, it's probably not going to do anything for the stretch marks. That was explained to me. That's fine. But there is some wobbliness there anyway. And my arms have always been bigger, even when I was very slim. I think I mentioned that in my last video. So I'm okay with that if it helps with some tightening. And it does help reduce fat and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's all really that I can think of in terms of updates. And this probably will not get watched by anyone, except if it does, you're very lucky to see my doggies, and I hope you enjoyed them. They're very sweet. This is Lilo. And yeah, so that's it. I think if I think of anything else, I'll just tack it on at the end. But yeah, really hoping to get to maintenance very soon. I think I'll do another video once I've gotten to 20 kilograms weight loss. In terms of overall weight loss from when I started, well, I mean, I've always been trying to lose weight for decades and decades, but in terms of in the last year, it's been about 20 kilograms now, more than 20 kilograms. When I started on Contrave, which I was on for about, so more than a year. So when I was on Contrave for about 6 months before going on to Mounjaro, I started at 93 kilos and I had gotten up to like 95. So I'm now 71.9, I think I said. So that's more than 20 kilos, but not quite at 20 kilos on Mounjaro. So that might be my next video, unless it takes a really long time and I feel like I need to whinge. So yeah, I'm not doing too much in the way of exercise. I've been trying to get back into reformer Pilates, but I have had a significant advancement, I think, of my arthritis in my wrists and in my feet. So before that, reformer Pilates, here I was saying I was done with this video. Anyway, before that, reformer Pilates was better for me because I wasn't having to rely on my wrist strength so much in terms of holding myself up, which I found with mat Pilates. But it was a little bit harder on my feet in terms of, I got arthritis like in my toes, which sounds really silly, but actually it's really painful, particularly in winter. And if you're coming into summer now, well, we're in spring, so it will get less painful, I think. But in terms of like when you're pushing the carriage back with your foot, that really hurts in terms of bending my toes. So that was the payoff versus mat Pilates. But now I'm finding I've got to get some x-rays done, but I'm pretty sure I've got RSI in my wrist, as well as arthritis in my fingers, which has just become more and more painful recently. And even reformer Pilates which previously would have been better than mat Pilates for that, is now not as great. So not going as often. I'm having to wear like a wrist like thing to support my wrist a bit, but it still hurts. So anyway, I'm doing that like kind of once every 2 weeks at the moment. So I want to get at the moment in our office, which is just full of boxes of my clothes, which I haven't been able to fit into since I put on weight really suddenly in, I think it was 2018. I can now go shopping in there, and the treadmill's in there, so under all of these boxes. So once I've been able to go shopping in there for clothes that I'll now fit into, I'll be able to bring the treadmill out or use it in there. It's coming into summer, so it gets too hot there, so I'll probably bring it out into the living room so I can like watch TV while I walk, and that will hopefully help a bit more, because yeah, I just can't really do the strength training at the moment with my pain levels. So if you have any suggestions for resistance training or strength training that doesn't really require the use of wrists or fingers or toes, would love to hear from you. Probably swimming is the only option I have, and I've already spoken about my damaged hair. So I used to be a swimmer, and I just don't want to deal with the hair at the moment. So anyway, now I'm done with the ramble, and Lilo just is gonna say goodbye, and then yeah, I'll see how long it is between now and the next update, depending on how long it takes me to get to 20 kilo loss and whether or not I feel like throwing in the towel again. So thanks for listening. See ya.